Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Grieve, Grow, and Glow with Sherry. This episode, we are going to touch upon the after effects after losing someone unexpectedly. There's no rule book, there's no guide to follow. This is just going to be my experience, right? The raw, transparent version of what I experienced. So, when Matthew took his last breath, I didn't understand what was happening. As I stated in the first episode, I was there through the whole ordeal, the whole 9 days that he was on life support. So as he took his last breath, or I should say when he took his last breath, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect because that was the first time that I actually experienced someone dying. I remember touching him and saying, he's cold. Of course he's cold. You know, the life just left his body. But again, this was my experience. I had no idea what to say, right? Or what happens when life leaves their body. All I know is there was a lot of emotions that I was feeling. Where do I go from here? How do I move on? I was in the middle of planning my wedding, right? We had everything planned. I had my wedding dress. We had the venue. We had the bridesmaids, the groomsmen. And we had about 10 to 11 months to go before the wedding. We wanted to make sure that the wedding was paid in full. So that's why the wedding was 1 year out. August 31st, 2008 was supposed to be my wedding day. My brother was there because, again, I was supposed to be graduating with my bachelor's that weekend. He was there to support me, along with other family members that were there supporting me. But I was devastated. I was angry. I was depressed. My emotions were up and down, right? Some days I could be good, where I spoke about Matthew, the memories, all the good times we had. There were days that I couldn't get out of bed. And I know a lot of my family were scared. And I know that I was feeling like I didn't want to go on. I'm being very transparent here. That's how I was feeling. But I knew I had to go on because I had 2 sons that loved me, that was my world. And I knew I couldn't leave them, right? So I had to move on and to live because of them. But honestly, I wasn't living. I was just existing. I would still go to work, because honestly, going to work helped me to not think about what I was going through. Keeping busy it kind of had my mind not focused on my new norm, right? So I would go to work, I would come home, I'm a mom, I would do things around the house. I still would go out to have drinks, because not that I was out there celebrating, I was out there numbing the pain. is a great depiction of what I was doing. Numbing the pain. So I would go to the bar, I would be listening to music, I would be having my favorite apple martinis. And it was numbing the pain, right? Because I didn't know any other way to numb the pain. People that are grieving, especially when you lose someone unexpectedly, there's no rule book, right? There's no right or wrong way. And people around you, they really don't know what to say to you. They really don't know how to comfort you, right? And you can't tell them how to comfort you, because this is something that's new for you as well. I know in my experience, my family, friends, will be like, hey, you need anything? You want anything? And that, for me, I didn't want anything. I wanted Matthew, if I'm being totally honest. And I'm a person that don't accept help. I have been on my own since I was 18 years old, doing for myself. So I don't accept help easily. And not because I'm too proud, but because I know in some circumstances, people will throw stuff in your face when they help you. So from that experience, I have always been the person that will be like, nah, I got it. I'm good. But in this instance, I wasn't good. It was just a mask that I was carrying around. And I didn't know how to pull myself out of this depression. So I remember one time I was at the bar that I used to go to. That was my comfort zone, to be honest with you. I love this bar. So it was being around people, hearing music, and again, self-medicating. I remember one evening I was there, I was listening to music, I was having a great time. And all of a sudden, the tears just started flowing down. I don't know why. It just happened. So that is one of the things for me that happened. The unexpected. I never knew when I would break down. And it made people uncomfortable because they didn't know how to help you, right? But a good friend of mine was there that night that I had this meltdown. And he didn't come over and say anything, Later that week, I got a phone call from his girlfriend, who was my girl as well, and was like, he is so worried about you. You scare him. You scared him that night because he could see that you're not yourself, of course, and just something about that breakdown just scared him. And he really wants you to go get some help. And for most people, they would be offended, right? Push back, like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. I don't need help. But I know my friend, and I knew he was coming from a good place. And I knew that I was in a bad space, because if I wasn't at work, if I wasn't tending to the kids, if I wasn't at the bar drinking, I was in my room in the dark, sleep, don't want to be bothered. Because my kids on the weekend would go with their dad. So that weekend I would be no good. And that wasn't a good space to be in. So I really thought long and hard about going to counseling, and I did make the decision to go. My first session, someone referred me to this lady. My first session didn't go well, and this is something that I need you guys to understand. You don't have to accept the first person that you go to. You need to really be able to connect with that therapist, right? Because you're sharing your deep, dark thoughts, right? And you want to know that this person is genuine, that this person has your back. So for me, the first session, I didn't feel comfortable with her. And the reason why is because when she came in and we sat down, the first thing she said to me was, "So tell me how I can help you." Automatically, I was pissed. I'm just being honest, because you were supposed to know how to help me. This is your field. This is your lane. And you're asking me. So clearly that was the first and the last session, right? So I was speaking to another girlfriend about it. And actually, this was a girl that worked with Matthew. He loved her to death. He had a really good relationship with his work boss and a coworker. They were like family. And they actually were there with me when Matthew passed. But anyway, she referred me to her counselor that she had went to. And so I left a message for her, to give me a call. And I was at work, and I remember getting the phone call from her. And she was like, I was returning your call, and, I wanted to get back to you, And so she was like, "So how are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm good." And she was like, "No, you're not." That's when I knew that was the therapist I needed. Just from that statement. "No, you're not." And that was the beginning of my 1.5 year therapy sessions with her. So in these episodes, I'm going to share my experience, because I want you guys to know that I am with you. That everything that I've been through, I know someone has went through. And I want to share my experience. I want to be able to help people that don't know how to move forward. They may be in the beginning of their grief. I want you guys to leave comments down below so that way I can touch upon it. I want this to be an interactive podcast. I want to help as many people as I can with my experience. I'm not saying that my experiences is the best. I can only share and hope that it helps someone. That warms my heart, because I have been through this for 18 years. And speaking about it now I've come a long way, right? To be able to sit here and speak to you about this without even breaking down. I know that I am in a better place. And I know God has given me this platform to be able to open my heart, to be able to share, to be transparent. and to have a platform that, for one, is safe, a safe space. And I know there are going to be people that aren't ready to share, and that's totally okay. I want to be able to provide access to books to read on, to links to where you can get counseling, and anything else that you feel will be helpful. Eventually, I will have other people on the podcast that will share their experience, because everybody's experience is not the same. I went to a conference this weekend to support a friend that lost her husband, and it was a beautiful, beautiful conference. Everybody shared their experience. No one was afraid. Everybody was supportive. Just tools that we could take away to help us on this journey, because this journey doesn't have an expiration date, unfortunately. You learn to live with grief. It never goes away. So I was just so happy to be amongst people that understood what I've been through. And so in the next episode, we will dive more into therapy and what I learned going through my journey. Okay? Again, leave comments below, anything that you'd like for me to touch upon on this podcast, on the next episode. I will try to have episodes weekly. So far, it's been working for my schedule to do them on Sundays. So I want to keep my word and keep this going once a week. As my schedule allow, I may be able to drop 2 videos. The second video during the week would be more so answering questions, but don't hold me to it, okay? Because your girl has a busy schedule, and next week I'm getting back to my weight loss journey because I've been off this week. So I wanted to come in today and to be able to drop a video for you guys. And I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for your comments. It helps me to sit down and be like, okay, this is needed. This is a much needed episode, a much needed platform. So again, thank you guys for showing up. Okay. Again, this is your girl Sherry with Grieve, Grow, and Glow. Until next time, deuces.